A very good morning to you all, dear loving children. I hope you are all keeping fine. Today onwards, we will be starting with the civics. Civics, there are 4 chapters we have to study. First chapter is about what is democracy and why democracy. Second chapter deals with the constitutional design. Third chapter deals with the electoral politics. Next chapter deals with the working of institutions and democratic rights, the last chapter. The first chapter we need not study. So we will start only with the second chapter. As we take the chapter, what you should do is that you should note down the questions and write down the answers in points in your notebook, and please write neatly, and at the end of the class, whatever questions we have done, that you consider it as assignments for you. No separate assignments will be given to you. Whatever questions we are giving it to you through PowerPoint presentation, you can write down those questions and answers point wise neatly. And at the end of the class, the day the class is sent to you, the very next day, the evening 7 o'clock, a test will be sent to you through parent day message. So let us start with what is democracy and why democracy. I hope you have studied about democracy in other classes, maybe 6th standard, maybe 7th standard, maybe in 8th standard. What is democracy? Let me give you an introduction about democracy. According to Abraham Lincoln, democracy is a government of the people, for the people, and by the people. Democracy first originated in Greece, Athens. The father of democracy is called Pericles. So in Greece, Athens, they introduced direct democracy. Those days, it was possible to introduce a direct democracy. As the population increased, now country's population has gone billions and crores. So now they find it difficult to go for direct democracy. We cannot call all the adult citizens and go for a meeting. So today, most of the countries are practicing indirect democracy. So let us go in and detail about what is democracy and why democracy. So let us start with the chapter 1, what is democracy and why democracy. Our first question is all about what is democracy. Democracy is a form of government in which the rulers are elected by the people. That is why we choose our representatives as MLAs or MPs, and they form the government and they take decisions for us. So I hope you understood what is democracy. Democracy is a form of government in which the rulers are elected by the people. Now let us find out in detail what are the features of democracy. First point is that the final decision making power should rest with those elected by the people. In other words, the final decision should be taken by those people who are elected by the people. It is not the military who should decide. It is not the dictator who should decide. Decision would be taken through proper consultation. And those elected people, MLAs and MPs, they should take the decisions. Second important feature of democracy is that there should be free and fair elections, where those in power have a fair chance of losing elections. There should be free and fair elections, means there should not be any kind of malpractices during elections. There should not be any both capturing, rigging, or the government should not interfere during elections. They should not change the polling booth at the last minute, and all the voters' names should be properly given in the voters list. So that is why we say that there should be free and fair elections, where those in power have a fair chance of losing. The party which is in power, maybe NDA, maybe UPA, at present it is NDA, they have a fair chance of losing elections. With regard to Kerala, we can say the LDF, they have a fair chance of losing elections. Maybe the UDF, they have a fair chance of losing elections. It is not the same party, same coalition government which comes to power again and again. I hope it is understood. Next point, next feature of democracy is that each adult citizen must have one vote and one value. A person should have only one vote and only one value. Next point is that there should be a rule of law and respect for the rights of other people. We must respect the fundamental rights of other people. There must be a rule of law. Government should be run according to the rules given in the constitution of each country. And we must respect the rights of others. We must respect the rights of women. We must respect the rights of children. We must respect the rights of all the people. And we must respect the rights of the other parties. That way only a democracy can become more successful. Now let us discuss in detail about various countries. Most of the countries in the world, they consider themselves as democratic countries. It is said that almost 3/4 countries in the world, almost 75% countries in the world, they practice democracy. Now, we will take the example of various countries. We will study in detail and find out why these countries cannot be called a democracy. First, let us take the case of Pakistan. Why Pakistan cannot be called a democracy, a democratic country? Under the leadership of especially General Pervez Musharraf. In Pakistan, General Pervez Musharraf led a military coup in October 1, 1999. You please learn the term coup. Coup means someone forcibly taking away power from the elected government and establishing a military form of government or a dictatorship form of government. An elected government is toppled. The correct word is toppled. The elected government is toppled and power comes into the hands of the military or the case or in the hands of a dictator. That is called a coup. So the elected government was removed from power and General Pervez Musharraf of the Pakistan army, he took over power from the elected government. He overthrew democratically elected government and declared himself the chief executive of the country. So he took over power by force. with the help of military. That is what happens in Pakistan very often. In 2002, he held a referendum. Please note down this word, referendum. A referendum is a practice in some countries where people are asked to support or reject a proposal. People are asked to either support or reject a proposal. Scotland, which is at present a part of UK, Scottish people want to go away from Britain and form a separate country, government there. So a referendum was held in Britain. 52 people said that Scotland should be part of UK. 48% of people said that Scotland should not be part of UK. So majority was in favor of Scotland becoming as part of UK. So even today Scotland remains as part of UK. So a referendum is a direct vote in which people either support or disagree with a proposal. So he held a referendum in the country that gave him 5 years extension. So General Pervez Musharraf was able to rule for another 5 years because of the referendum that he held there. The referendum was based on malpractice and fraud. We did not know who voted and who did not vote. So it was based on malpractice and fraud. It was not a free and fair referendum. So it is not the correct way of coming to power. In August 2002, he issued a legal framework order that amended the Constitution of Pakistan. So through an order, he amended means changed the Constitution of Pakistan. According to that order, the President can dismiss the national and the provisional assemblies. So, this power gave the President of Pakistan, General Pervez Musharraf at that time, the power to dismiss the national government, elected government, and the provisional assemblies or the state assemblies. The work, another important aspect, how he took over power, the work of the civilian cabinet is supervised by a National Security Council which is dominated by military officers. So there is the work of the cabinet is supervised by a National Security Council which is dominated by military officers. So in other words, military officers decide, they have an upper hand over the decisions of the cabinet. So from this I hope you understood why Pakistan cannot be called a democratic country, because power was taken over by force. There was malpractices and the military dominating power in Pakistan. Now let us come to the next example of our neighboring country, China. Why China cannot be called a democratic country? Even though we call China is called the People's Congress, but why China cannot be called a democratic country? First of all, we must understand China has a single party system. China is not practicing bi-party system or a multi-party system. China has a single party system. Let us go through the points. First one, the National People's Congress, which is the parliament of China, has 300 members. elected from all over China. These 300 members are elected from all over China. Next point, some members are elected by the army. Army only elects some members. Before contesting elections, a candidate needs the approval of the Chinese Communist Party. So Chinese Communist Party only decides who should be the candidates for elections. The ticket should be given by the Communist Party of China. Only those who are members of the Communist Party in China are allowed to contest elections. Others are not given tickets. So, if you want to stand as a candidate for elections, you should be a member of a Communist Party in China. And another important feature is that the government in China is always formed by the Communist Party in China. No other party comes to power. People have no meaningful choice in China. Every day, after every elections, only Communist Party comes to power in China. That is why we say, why China cannot be called a democratic country. For a country to be called a democratic country, they should have freedom of freedom of religion. They should have freedom of expression. They should have freedom to form associations. They should have freedom to form parties. And there should be strong opposition parties who can criticize the policies of the ruling party, who can put the ruling party in the right track for all this. The media and the opposition parties play a very important role. So that is why we say that why China cannot be called a democratic country. I hope you understood these two questions. One is why Pakistan cannot be called a democratic country. Second one, why China cannot be called a democratic country. Let us study just one more example. Why Mexico cannot be called a democratic country. Let us see the points. Mexico holds elections after every 6 years. There are regular elections in Mexico after 6 years. Up to 2000 AD, every election was won by a party called PRI, which means Institutional Revolutionary Party of Mexico. Opposition parties contest elections, but they never win elections. All the elections up to 2000 was won by PRI party. Another point is that all government employees of Mexico, they have to attend party meetings. They have to attend party meetings. Teachers of government schools used to force parents to vote for the PRI. So the teachers try to influence parents, or they force parents to vote for the PRI. Institutional Revolutionary Party. So it is compulsory in Mexico that government employees have to attend the party meetings, and teachers force parents to vote for PRI. Another important feature why Mexico cannot be called a democratic country is that media largely ignore the activities of opposition parties. Media do not highlight the role of opposition parties. The opposition parties criticize the ruling party, but that will not be printed or published. Sometimes polling booths are shifted at the last minute. So if you shift a polling booth at the last minute, many people will not be able to cast their vote. Another point, the PRI spend largest sum of money for election campaign. Every party spend a lot of money for election campaign. That is why elections are very costly. So this party, which is in power in Mexico for a number of years, they spent a huge amount of money for election campaign. So they try to buy the voters, they try to get maximum, they give more incentives to the people so that people may vote for a PRI party. So, dear children, today we studied about a new lesson in civics. What is democracy and why democracy? We covered a few questions. The first one is, what is democracy? Second question was, what are the features of democracy? Third one, we studied about why Pakistan cannot be called a democratic country. We also studied about why China cannot be called a democratic country. And the last, we studied about why Mexico cannot be called a democratic country. So I request all the students to write down these questions and answers in your notebook and learn them. Test will be given to you, sent to you through the parent mail very next day of uploading, and you should attempt the test and send it to me through parent or through WhatsApp. I wish you all the best. Thank you.